You see the market going up, 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 up. That means it's finna go down. Alter ego, Satoshi Nakamoto. Alter ego, Satoshi Nakamoto. You see the market going up, 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 up. That means it's finna go down. Alter ego, Satoshi Nakamoto. Alter ego, Satoshi Nakamoto. The market going up, the market going down. Keep on playing with my emotions. All I want is some more tokens. Hard for me to meditate cause I'm always in motion. So grateful for this knowledge and didn't have to go to college. I hope that you acknowledge I'll be all about the money flow. Looking for some crypto I can buy for the low. Market dumped all on me, I consider that a low blow. Forgot to set a stop loss, man, you slipping, that's a no. Working with this leverage got me all up in the bank vault. Put in all this work, you can't be mad, it ain't my fault. I've been smashing Rari, doing donuts on the asphalt. Anti-laser radar shield, nope, I will not get caught. Neighbors taking pictures when I pull up out the garage. 300K in bells and whistles, this is not a facade. Got the groupies going crazy, wanna slob on my knob. I can't teach you everything, no sir, that ain't my job. You see the market going up, 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 up. That means it's finna go down. Alter ego, Satoshi Nakamoto. Alter ego, Satoshi Nakamoto. You see the market going up, 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 up. That means it's finna go down. Alter ego, Satoshi Nakamoto. Alter ego, Satoshi Nakamoto. Crypto face, alter ego, Satoshi Nakamoto. Market going up and down just like a pogo. Scamming in my comments, then you probably are a bozo. Been real from the start, man, didn't you get the memo? Offshore accounts, but my bars are on tempo. Corners, I'ma bend them. Rari, high RPM them. Hands off the wheel, positive traction when I spin them. Trading is my specialty, nobody can really mess with me. When it comes to BTC, yep, I got the recipe. In and out carefully, fine tune my strategy. Technical analysis, my whale crew some savages. Hardly check my balances, they keep on going up. Big old dog named Sid, been a beast since a pup. Some of y'all call it luck, I call it divine intervention. When I'm pulling up, you can already see the engine. Game so cold, might as well you be a penguin. Market going up, 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 up. That means it's finna go down. Alter ego, Satoshi Nakamoto. Alter ego, Satoshi Nakamoto. You see the market going up, 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 up. That means it's finna go down. Alter ego, Satoshi Nakamoto. Alter ego, Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yo, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining me in this fantastic Sunday night. I got two powerful guests. We've got JUNGLEBEAST, aka Cody, one of my OGs in the Leapfrog Discord. He's going to give you guys like a slightly different perspective on VWAPs. And then we also got my brother, the Crypto Guy, in here as well. So, man, look at this funny ass meme, this Animorphs. I know a lot of you guys are old enough to remember Animorphs, but like this meme always made me laugh, man. But I made that video for CryptoFace all those years ago, and that thing went viral, man. I still listen to this music video like every now and then. But that shit's a classic. But I just want to welcome my guest real quick. Crypto Guy on the internet, say something.
Happy to be here again. That's a sweet meme, by the way. Those and Goosebumps were great.
And then we got our guy, Cody, a.k.a. JUNGLEBEAST. Say a word there, brethren.
Hey, thanks for having me, Nick. I appreciate it. And I've been loving all the intros the past few weeks. Killing it. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. And yeah, man, I get that most people just want to get right into the charts, but we're fat catting it. You know, we're making you wait. We're letting you watch that intro to get your lips salivating for all the juicy alpha that we do every Sunday. So last Sunday's ideas my brother and I were throwing around were quite good. Like, we were talking about a bearish weekly leap on altcoins, but that we were still in an ascending 5 MA. And so we were talking like, we're not really that attached to any shorts, but there is a short move to the downside. And so it was like Monday or Tuesday, those altcoins basically from that point had a nice correction. Then we had a pop up throughout the week. And so we popped up, we came down, and unfortunately, we are now kind of in the opposite situation as last week, where instead of having an ascending 5-day MA backing us up and then hoping for that kind of just healthy retracement, like what happened back here, we're now in the opposite situation where that black area is now sloped down. But we do have a little bit of a move back up to last week's week-to-date VWAP. And so there's probably going to be a little local bottom here somewhere. And then we rebound up into a declining previous week-to-date, a declining 5MA. And then potentially the downtrend may continue. We're not sure. We may come out of it, but the slope of this 5MA shows a guilty until proven innocent type of environment. So thank you guys for popping into the chats. Good to see all you guys in here, especially you guys who were tuning into that X Spaces earlier. It was with Dane DeForest. I did an X Spaces. And if you guys want, follow this guy. He's a good dude in the Market Cypher community, connects with a lot of people on X. So if you're looking to grow your X account, definitely get in touch with Dane. He's a good dude. So that was a fun live space that I just did like an hour and a half ago. But yeah, we got our Twitter accounts. Go ahead and follow at FloppingGroper there. If you want any of my links, just go to empoweredtraders.com, link in the description. And these are all my links to all my exchanges and stuff. So yeah, man, I'm down to talk about what both of you guys are seeing. So CryPTOGUY, OTI, how about we pull up your stream first and we take a look at what you're seeing, man? How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. All right.
All right, so I'm looking at, you already pretty much covered it. The overall mood, no matter really what coin you're looking at, is you go up to retrace your previous weekly's anchored VWAP, but I'm on the team right now of we get rejected there. So Bitcoin's, my chart's just messy, but it's the same kind of scenario. Our previous weekly's way up here, like 119.5. This might slope a little bit down a little bit further going into Monday. And if we keep falling down to maybe 114.5 or so, it might take more than just Monday to get us back to whatever that VWAP ends up being. But even on like Solana, similar scenario, we're already kind of at it right there. You might pull back up to like 192-ish. But now that I'm looking at really low time frames, like the 1 and 5 minute, if you guys ever watch my channel, I'm all about the yellow X, and we're getting a big clump of yellow X's on pretty much everybody right now. So that tells me that you do get a little bounce up here probably tomorrow. But guilty until proven innocent. It looks like an overall downtrend. Although I don't like to get excited or overly panicky based on weekend price action. It's not something that really matters. When Monday kicks in and the big gates open, that's when the real price action comes in. So I'm looking for scalp long entries, like for either overnight or first thing in the morning. But I'll be aggressively taking profits because it looks like next week is a down week. That's my story.
I like that, man. Go back to the Bitcoin chart because you had a good Fibonacci line drawn. So it looks here that if you're looking for an entry back up to last week's VWAP, which is that the purple line up there?
Yeah, it's the purple one.
All right, so
it's
that's
kind of a mess, but yeah.
Yeah. So that is declining now. So the first time we interact with it, it's probably going to be a little bit of a short scalp. But at the same time, it means we probably are going to interact with it sometime this week soon. It's a matter of where does it bounce from. And so looking at what my brother's got here, the 786 retracement looks like a really solid little confluence there. Looking at the larger VWAPs, I don't know whether that's a monthly or quarterly VWAP, the blue and yellow, but we're dumping down into a sideways slash up type of macro VWAP environment here. So I would expect, you know, not for it to just roll over and just go straight down and just die. I think that there's going to be a bit of a fight here. It's going to probably bounce off like the 786, maybe wick down a little bit more down into that actual yellow rising VWAP down there at around 113.5 or something. And sometime, you know, from this point where we're at right now to like tomorrow morning, we're going to find a little bottom, and it's probably going to rebound up to that purple line, where that would be like an area where you definitely would want to take some profits on that trade, because you never know, man. You just never know if a declining weekly VWAP is going to be the death gong or just a total nothing burger.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I like that. Is that a spider line that it's like dumping down to right now? There's like a dotted line there.
Part of the fib. This is part of the fib. But there is the spider line. I don't have it on my chart anymore, but the spider line is right around here, like 114.5. I think someone mentioned it in chat. Yeah, arc signal. He's got the spider line at 114.5. So that would be a little extra confluence for hitting your 786 here as your like lowest low of the week. But
all right, so before we get into altcoins, I want to see what Cody's thinking about Bitcoin real quick. So let me pull up your shit here, Cody. Tell me what you're seeing, man.
Right now I'm looking on the 30-minute, and we've come down to a support resistance flip here on the 30-minute. So a very key area we're at right now. Looking at the 4-hour. 4-hour doesn't look that great. The VWAP on Market Cipher B is coming straight down. Money flows are getting low, shooting straight down. No real curve to the upside. No real bounce to it yet. I'm generally feeling bearish. Like everyone said, we'd probably see a bounce Monday. Really depends on Monday how markets are gonna open. Like we could not even see a bounce, and we just keep pushing downwards. But I would like to try to catch a bounce. We are bouncing off the zero line on the 10-minute right now, shooting up. Money flow is coming up. I thought we was about to cross over after we lost our monthly here. We do have a June 5th low VWAP. I call them hidden VWAPs, just lows and highs of the market. Like we have the all-time high VWAP up here at 118.9, but it's already caught us a few times. And I could see us coming back down here if we are going to lose the money flow 4-hour, and this momentum is going to get lower than this green dot here, which seems to be the case. Looks like we might even put in a new anchor wave if we do get lower than this June 5th VWAP. But overall, I'm waiting for tomorrow. I'd like to see what tomorrow looks like. I mean, just right, very strong, like you pointed out earlier. Hiking a sheet candle to the downside on the daily. VWAP is still shooting straight down, well below the zero line, so she can ebb and flow underneath it as price comes lower. But that's what I'm looking at. I'm waiting for tomorrow to really make the move. If we're gonna hold this previous month, maybe we can get money flow coming back in on these lower time frames to reclaim this monthly. But with how deep this momentum wave is for me, I'd like to see some bear divs off of it, honestly, which means we come lower. I do have some fibs set right here around the 110.5. If we are going to lose the June 5th low VWAP that's caught us a few times already to keep the price going up, then I would expect to start falling down into some of these fibs.
And what are those fibs? Are they just drawn from like the low back in
the low to the high? Yeah.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, man. Let's talk about these bigger market cipher signs that we're seeing here. So we're back on my macro chart here. So all the way up to the 4-day, guys, we're seeing red dot, like market cipher momentum potentially rejecting off the 60 line here in a bearish divergence. So while we created a higher high, we didn't quite hit 125K, so that's kind of an annoying factor that we're dealing with. I'm sure a lot of you guys are like, when is that new ETH all-time high? When is Bitcoin going to hit 125K? I'm definitely in the same boat. That's the environment we're dealing with right now. It's just this kind of like, oh, I wish we got that better price for certain trades. We didn't really get that. But what we are seeing here is bear div, 4-day bear div, wick goes higher, momentum wave is sloped down. So this definitely could come back up. But, this is a little concerning. On the weekly, it's not as glaring or confirmed yet, but it does seem like a red dot is trying to come back here. So it's a brand new weekly candle. So this is hard to say, guys. This could easily bullish leapfrog up, and then this red dot goes away. And so this is a red dot that is not confirmed. It's something that's flashing currently now that the new weekly candle has printed. And when I analyze this weekly candle, it does seem, it does have a very tall top wick. That's a lot of sell pressure right there. So to me, it doesn't necessarily invalidate like the indecision candles that we had in the weeks prior. Definitely kind of just seems like, okay, we're just stopping everyone out. And then look, we got a lot of sell pressure there. So it's really up to the next candle to like reaffirm any macro weekly uptrend here. As of right now, if we don't reclaim these levels and we don't get a weekly bullish leap back up to like 119K, like on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, the chart's going to look real bad. And the next like major quarterly support is like the Q2 VWAP down at like 105. So that's when my big ideas start creeping in and haunting me while I sleep. Once this like sideways, this teal VWAP, this thing's sideways now. Eventually it might slope down on us. Same with this white monthly VWAP. This thing could slope down. And then once you're below the previous 2 monthly VWAPs, that's a lot of volume weighted resistance. So, watch for this newly formed 5-day downtrend. See that black area? That's a newly formed 5-day downtrend. A lot of work needs to be done to turn that back to the upside before I get super optimistic on price. That's just where I'm at. So yeah, we looked at the macro. Looking at the monthly, still super high momentum. JUNGLEBEAST was talking about, I think you were talking about, what was it, the yellow oscillator you said was looking a little weak?
Yeah, it just has that real deep curve to the downside on it. Looking on my chart for the Coinbase chart, it's just and it's coming real close to the 0 line as well. Now, like we could see a bounce off that 0 line, but just the way it looks to me, zooming out.
I mean,
it
one
just
thing
has
we
that
gotta
deep curve to the downside.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I could see it all of a sudden crisscrossing that 0 line like out of nowhere with a pretty like big move, but that's just like the beast we deal with momentum this high up. It's that runaway train mode, and so yes, we're capable of extreme pumpage, but also like extreme disappointment. If it starts pinching, we get like a red dot. That's when you get those big retracements of like up 20% higher. So hoping that a red dot doesn't form from some sort of like escalation of the 5-day downtrend this week. I'm hoping things bounce back ultimately. I want to see ETH get a new all-time high. I want to see Bitcoin break 125. But in terms of our trading, we enter at the best price we can get, and we take profit at those VWAP levels and stuff. So it's almost like it doesn't even matter like what Bitcoin does. Like from a week-to-week basis, we kind of have guardrails protecting us from any big ideas. But let's talk altcoins. So Ethereum, as I said, like I was really hoping for a new all-time high. I marked it up here, and the all-time high was preventing me from taking all sorts of shorts back here. Like I was laying down positions for these sweeps of the highs back here, but I want to get the best price possible for a short. And if you're looking at the ETH chart, you're seeing that it's like really wants to test that all-time high. So personally, I withheld from shorting this past week, and I'm glad I did, especially on Ethereum, because this would have absolutely turned my strategy inside out and screwed me over real bad. So sometimes like using your intuition and like being very, very greedy with the entry that you want can save you a lot of trouble. And it's better to not trade. Most ideas you have, it's actually better to just do nothing than it is to chase. So, but you know, maybe there could be a little bounce this week if I see the right stuff here on ETH. What are you guys seeing on Ethereum?
Well, I had that short at 41, so we could push to an all-time high, and now it looks like it wants to come back to my entry where there's nice support around 41, 4,000. I would consider looking for longs at that point. And it's kind of greedy because we're running into some volume right there at 4,300, and you got a VWAP there at about 42. But certainly around 41, it gets. Where is that on your chart? Yeah, there you go. That rung on the ladder right there. I'd start looking for a cheeky long. But if you fall through that, then you're down to like 3,800-ish.
So right now if you do the Fibonacci from this low here at like your entry or whatever, we're now kind of on that 786 level there. So, and the timing is such that, you know, maybe we might consider a trade around this time. So like a 10-minute hike in Ashi off of this support here could actually turn into something like overnight or going into the morning. So I'll have to see if like the 10-minute comes back here on ETH. But it's, as you said, it could dump all the way down to that month to date and then bounce there and go deeper. But what about you, Cody?
No, I see the same thing. I see that monthly VWAP right there. Looking at the 1 hour on Market Cipher, we are starting to gain some momentum to the upside. We can see the VWAP shooting to the upside, which is going to lead us to another green dot here. Looks like it's going to be above that 0 line. And the 10-minute VWAP is bouncing off the 0 line. Looks like we have some momentum to gain, which means we could come down to that monthly at 4,100 there and have some nice momentum built to the upside. Maybe we can see money flow starting to come in on this 10-minute as we're at these levels, because the 1 hour looks good. We get a green dot. Money flow looks like it's curving to the downside, but very close to the 0 line. We could see it pop back over any time now to send us back up to either the daily, previous day, even that all-time high VWAP there.
Yeah, so how I would potentially set up a little ETH long scalp here is I'm waiting for like a 10-minute entry. So like this 10-minute hike on Ashi does not tell me that I should long right now. The flow of the orders is still down. If you did long, it might work out for you because we are at a strong support, but I would call that a stink bid. But if you wait for a little bit of strength, like even if at this very level here, we saw a green hike in Ashi on the 10-minute, let's see if the risk reward is worth it. So it is a 3-to-1 back up to last week's VWAP now. So, you know, it's not the craziest trade ever. I've definitely seen better, you know, bigger gaps between VWAPs. But obviously, if you were patient, and let's say this thing was just red all the way down to the month-to-date VWAP here, this is a much better trade. So you could be picky, hold out for that 5.6-to-1 right here. You know, enter something like that. You know, that's like more of like a 4-to-1, I would say. But let it coil up, let it do its thing, because man, I just like to wait for that 10-minute hike and Ashi flip instead of like jumping in front of a train, because too many times, man, especially if you're giving out signals for other people, you can't just be like longing this shit. Like, look, you long this little squeezing of the hike and Ashi here, and it just goes down lower. So, you know, you got to be patient with that entry model. But what other altcoins are we looking at, fellas?
That hike and Ashi video you did a few months ago really changed it for me. Waiting for that candle. I mean, sometimes you're waiting a while, but it's worth it when you wait for that candle and all your indicators are in the right direction. That's the candle that confirms the trade, and the patient pays off.
Yeah, man. What was like the number one thing that you took away from that that Heikinashi masterclass thing, because I would say that was one of my best free tutorials that I ever put out there. And it was fun to refresh everything and like remember why like me and my brother use Heikinashi. So like going back and teaching it again has polished up my trading as well. So, you know, it's not like I preach down. It's like, damn, I needed a refresh on this shit too. But, you know, what is it about Heikinashi that you love so much?
What really helped me was the entries. Like, it helped me damn near perfect my entries. I like to here on the 10-minute. Look, we lost our. This is my strategy right here. We could be losing the daily. I preferred on the daily, but right here the previous day worked just fine. We lost our previous day. We had money flow coming out. I gotta mark for the 1 hour too. Right here, where was money flow? Right there. Where's the hike in the sheet candle? Right there. Boom. So we got in right there with that hike in the sheet candle. Made sure the 1 hour was backing us. What do we have? A red dot right there on the 1 hour. So the 1 hour was backing us. We had the hike in the sheet candle with the money flow coming out, losing our previous day VWAP. And fuck, what is that right now? 4%.
Yes, sir.
Off the and then hey, let's do it, because the stop loss would have been right here. That another big thing with that hike and achieve video was the stop loss. I'd have just put it right above this green wick right here, and that would have been a great.
Yeah, you just defend that high.
Just right there, right. And then I probably would have been looking for this low, this June.
The
Or
sweep
this
of the
is
lows.
Ethereum anyway, but right. But yeah, just go down to your VWAPs. You know, this is Ethereum. I don't have a lot of TA on Ethereum, but it works. It works just the same way on Bitcoin, right? And that's a 10-to-1 right there. Beautiful.
I love that. And it's already hit 2-to-1, right? Like, where's the 2-to-1 at?
Right.
Like, where would that have been
Let's
if you
see.
laid that position down? But yeah, I mean, waiting for the Heikinashi makes it a lot easier to defend that stop loss, because you know that the
Right.
10-minute chart has now swung in your trade's favor. You're not just like trying to catch a bottom like a psychopath. But you can see here that, you know, he would have hit his 2-to-1.
There's
I don't know
a
if you took
2-to-1
the
right
trade,
there.
but there's your 2-to-1.
I did not. I wasn't able to be on the chart, but that's my strategy. And if I stick to this strategy, I win most of the time. It's when I don't stick to this strategy, I fucking lose. But it's good to see I can show people live, like, this is a strategy. Money flow's coming out. We've lost our previous day, and we have the 1 hour back in the move.
And when
It's
it
a great
comes to like
strategy
a
to add.
yeah, and when it comes to the Heikinashi candle, like, do you just enter on any red Heikinashi?
No, I
or...
wait. I wait for the solid one. Like, we get that. I probably would have got this one because I wanted to make sure. Let me move this red line. But I like to, if it opens deep without and we've already had the top, I might enter on this one. But if this one's flat, then I would enter on this one and probably put my stop loss right here if I miss it. But usually I try to enter on the second one after we had the wick up and it's a strong candle on the open.
Perfect, man.
And we got the red smooth hike in the sheet, which again, thank you. It turned red to confirm the trend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not a like market cipher proprietary indicator there. That's a free indicator on TradingView. It's called
Right.
SHA.
I was just on the video.
Yeah, but in that Heikinashi video, which if you go to my channel's live streams and just go back a couple months, you'll see that one, as well as a market cipher basic strategy video. And yeah, I was teaching you guys about these smooth Heikinashis too, how that is like a nice lagging indication sometimes, which is not a lagging indication doesn't mean bad. It's just there's leading and lagging stuff, but
yeah, it just helps add extra confluence after the fact. Like if you enter here and now you're getting red candles, it's just extra confluence for after the trade.
Yeah. All right. Hunter X Hunter in the chat has been watching Cody for years. Love to see you hone in on the strategy. Trader Geo in the house. What's up, Geo? Said negative 20% day incoming. Yeah, man. Man, I've been bearish.
Short man gonna short.
Yeah. I've been worried for a while, man. Like, not gonna lie. Like, ever since this quarter opened up here, you know, this July 1, this is the teal line right now. So this teal VWAP that started here on July 1. Ever since this point, I've been looking at every single all-time high. Like this high, this was the high back then. And I was thinking, man, once this high gets taken, there's no one left. Like there's no bears left. And so it might be the bulls who need to get hunted. And so while we have had multiple sweeps, we're sweeping, we're cleaning house this quarter, man. This has been a tricky quarter to like actually like comfortably flip bearish on because it just keeps going and fishing. It's top fishing. But, you know, if you go along with the slope of the quarterly VWAP, it makes sense why we're still sweeping the highs. Because look, the quarterly is still neutral. But once this teal line starts to slope down, that's when we start to see those big Trader Geo death wicks. And the bears are back in town. But until then, it's still kind of a fight. You know, just like what happened here at like the end of February, things were hella freaking sideways and choppy in this range. And then at the end of February going into March, just a huge shit down. So sometimes it chops and chops, and that big VWAP slowly gets tugged down until it's all she wrote. But I've been quite bearish up here as well, even though you know, you gotta recognize the bulls when they have the reins. That's all I want to say on that. But there's tons of altcoins that we could go over here. So we went over Ethereum. It definitely sucks we didn't break the all-time high, but there might be a little bit of a like long scalp on that basically in the next 24 hours here. These waves look pretty oversold here. Just wait for that 10-minute hike in Ashi to start manifesting. Might catch something good on ETH. As for Solana, Solana has been downtrending against ETH on the macro. So when I look at the Solana chart, I'm not surprised that it's like also coming back down into the VWAP gulag here. There's a lot of VWAP action here. So it's kind of stuck in this net of VWAPs for the time being. But what do you guys, what's your take on Solana? Solano, brethren. You there, crypto guy?
Yes, I'm pondering. It's something I do have some moves I'm looking for. Let's see if you want to show my messy chart.
Okay.
Let's see here. Okay, so Solana's weekly retrace goes up to about 192 right now, although that will probably come a little bit lower by the time it's relevant starting tomorrow. We do have a trend line. I know Trader Geo hates trend lines, but if we lose this right here on a daily close, I'm looking to I'm getting interested around 172, and then even like towards the bottom of this at the start, like high 150s. So I'm looking for a greedy entry on a Solana long, but I might have to wait a little while. But yeah, it's the opposite of last week. So I think we pull up first to the weekly retrace and then get rejected, and then we'll see where we can get some nice entries for a fresh long. But I was looking at XRP a little closer than Solana, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let me pull up my XRP and just get like a first impression because I haven't really looked at it. Looking at XRP right now, I do see that we've kind of lost the monthly VWAP. So, man, it's hard to say. These are very spiky. Look at this wickage, man. It's crazy. Like, it spikes down in a single 4-hour wick, comes all the way back up into the range. But this kind of seems a little worrisome to me, man. We lost the new monthly VWAP. Look at the declining 5 MA here, bearing down on Ripple. So this chart's got a little bit of work to do, man, before I'm like, okay, yeah, we're in a 5-day uptrend and things are looking great again. It's actually
waiting
looking
for 280.
Look at this
Yeah,
4-hour money flow.
280.
4-hour money flow is actually pouring out, bleeding out there.
Mhm.
So the 4-hour looks a little weird. Going up the macro time frames. Even on the weekly, there's a little red dot. Even though this is a fresh weekly candle, this will have to confirm in a whole week. But some potential warning signs to look out for on Ripple. Look at this like 2-week larger bear div. If this does confirm in 1 week, you might get a red dot here with declining momentum and price rising. So that could be a reason for this to plunge back into its VWAP gulag down here, but a little early to say. But give me your spiel on the XRP, brethren.
Well, $3 has been a good entry point lately, but I don't want to do it again this time because I'm looking for previous lows to get swept, especially around like 280 or just below that, maybe 276-ish right here. I want this to come back. But even then, you're losing a trend line that's going back all the way to... Oh, I'm getting all kinds of warnings. All right, so we're about to break a trend line that's going all the way back to 192. So not to say that that has to happen, but I start getting interested around 278, 280, but we'll have to assess then.
You got any take on XRP, Jungle Beast?
You know, it's one of the coins that got me into crypto, and I have not looked at it in so long. Looks like on the 1 hour we've lost monthly and previous day at the moment. Some pretty strong hike in the sheet candles down. We got that June 5th low VWAP that's on Bitcoin. It's coming right in at, what, 282 there. If we can get some momentum to the upside, that might be a nice little long point back to either the monthly or try to get through this gulag we got right there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just 4 hour red dot right there on the zero line. Money flow coming out. That's a very deep candle to the downside, and it might open underneath this previous month. If we open it under the previous month, I'd be concerned about some downside for sure. The daily VWAPs didn't even get up to the zero line and got a sharp rejection to the downside. Money flows coming out.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to come to the charts and see things looking so, concerning, but it does make sense whenever you have a bullish weekly leapfrog, which means the previous week's VWAP, the VWAP from last Monday, is overhead. That means that we're looking for bottoms here on these coins in the next day or 2 or 3. Could be now on some coins, or it could be tomorrow or the next day. But you just need some good confluence. Like, it needs to be hitting your guys' key levels. You want to see the 10-minute Heikin-Ashi picking back up again. You don't want to front run an idea like this because it is counter trend right now. We're in a declining 5MA. So maybe the safest thing to do is to just kind of wait for pullbacks to the upside to short. But the most imminent trade, I believe, on the horizon for us currently at this moment is like a long bounce sometime soon, a bearish long bounce, but something that I will capitalize on if it looks like super clean. But I didn't take a trade last week, so I'm just hoping, like, it needs to speak to me, man. Like, if it's not giving me like something juicy, like, I'm sorry, but I'm not putting my money up in the markets. You know what I mean? So, yeah, just remaining picky, and it's just another day in crypto. But not just another day for like this channel. Like, this has been an honor getting people on my channel with me. Like, it definitely makes my job a lot easier, and I think it's a better look, like, including other people in what we do, because there's so many of you guys out there that are doing the same things that we're doing, but you just get to listen to me. So it's like we get to hear a different perspective. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, money flow does not look good on the 10-minute XRP chart. Looks like it's still flowing out. It's getting pretty deep. Looks like we have potential to gain some bull divs as momentum gets higher and price goes lower. But right now we are losing our previous month on these lower time frames. 15-minute is also getting the red dot. VWAP just crossed over. Some still pretty strong hike in the sheet candles to the downside. And looks like we might be trying to bottom out in the immediate to short term. But look, it still looks pretty bad on these lower time frames, 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
A lot of momentum still under this 60 line.
Yeah, and you just got to be mindful that like any longs that you take, because it's probably something good is gonna like unfold here. Like these waves are oversold. Like yes, we're staring at a red dot in the face right now, and even on like the 10-minute, it's clearly not the time for entry. But we're here putting the work in, like formulating a plan. It may happen or it may not, right? But if it does happen, we also know, like we know where we'll enter and we know where we'll place the stop, and the target would be, I would say, that previous week to date VWAP up there, or like the declining 5MA. It's hard for it to see on JUNGLEBEAST chart, but that declining black line, the 5-day trend, just that whole cluster up there. Like as we start chopping up through there, look at the downslopeness of those neon green daily VWAPs. So yes, we may get a counter push up, but those downslope daily VWAPs are still going to kind of cause a dumpy kind of environment, even if we do chop up and bears get a really nice entry up there. But yeah, man, let's how about we open up the chat to chart recommendations. We'll just do like a couple chart recommendations and then we'll end it there. So if you guys are in the chat, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. And I also linked Cody's channel and my brother's channel in the description so you guys can follow them. And we have our first recommendation, CRV. Crypto guy, you want to start with CRV?
I've never heard of this. Let's do it.
This is the best though. This is the best analysis when it's something you never seen before, never.
Okay, we're just gonna raw dog it. Let's do it.
Yup.
All right, let's see. We slap at least some familiar VWAPs on it. So there's your August. What about last week? There we go. Make that a different color. Okay, and then maybe put a fib on this too. Why not? Maybe one close by. All right, so
it's going to zero. It's
yeah,
totally
you're fucked. It's going to turn you trans. It's that. Okay, so here's what it's got. A very similar story to a lot of other things. So you probably pull up to your previous weekly anchored VWAP here around 94, 95 cents, and then get rejected and fall down deeper. And at that point, I'd be looking at this bit of volume right here, where it was resistance, and now it'll be support. So right before you hit this fib here at about 76 to 78, I'd be more interested in looking for longs. I don't know anything about CRV. It might go on, what is this, curve? Oh, I should know that. It's not a bad looking chart. I've seen worse.
Yeah, it had some, I mean it had a macro break of structure to the upside. It's in an ascending DBSI. See the 200-day EMA that's upsloped underneath us, that down there. I like that going for it. Yeah,
would I invest in this? Probably not. But if I'm just day trading it, I mean, I would do it like anything else. So yeah, I'd be looking for a quick pull up to about 94, 95, and I'd probably take profit there, unless there's some great news for us this next week, like Ukraine and Russia love each other now or something. We need some good story to help us, because the PPI data really took the wind out of our sails. So we need something positive to get that bad taste out of our mouth. But until then, it looks like we're all going down a little bit after a pump into the previous weekly.
Yeah, I would say, here, we're pulling up my chart here. It's looking a little concerning, guys. We lost last month's VWAP. Definitely, if we stay down here, this gets progressively more and more bearish for sure. But you can't get too bearish when something's just taken the major low there. Like, we just stopped out a bunch of people here. And so this is like a potential, like, especially given that Bitcoin and ETH have bullish weekly leaps, it gets me going on the 10-minute and thinking, dang, okay, when this 10-minute comes back to life, whether it's here or it crashes more or whatever, but the second I see like strong Heikin-Ashi, you have the upward target. It's like this region right here. It's like the previous week to date, month to date, and the declining 5-day trend. So, this 0.92 region, I would get out of any longs once we come back up to that level. And it's a dynamic level. It's changing over time. But the way you put a trade is like wait for some 10-minute Heiken-Ashi. You know, you enter up here. Stop loss behind whatever the low is, whether it's here or lower. And you just target up there. And, man, hopefully you get a better entry. Because for a shit coin, this is not really the best gap back up to resistance. So overall, I would rate this kind of like a shit. This is a real shit coin. Like, you're trading a shit coin, but you're really not getting the volatility of something like maybe FARTCOIN or like other giga shit coins that you might actually score a bigger move on. So it's just a pretty comparable trade to like Ethereum right now. And
Ooh, look at the heat map. Hang on. Do you have the heat map up? It's like a 6-point spread in favor of shorts. We're at 53.2%. These people are going to get wrecked tomorrow, so just be careful if you're trying to short right now. If you open a new short, probably not very smart until, yeah, see up top?
ooh, shit.
That 24-hour long to short ratio? Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's getting shorted down. You know, I would say don't panic. Literally at this moment where, look at all these people who just got, these longs just got pushed out. Might actually be a good time to jump in the next day or two if we start to see strength manifest. So keep an eye on that if you are interested in this giga shitter.
Righto. And a lot of stuff is looking kind of like that right now.
Yeah, this is emblematic for sure. Hunter X Hunter wants me to look at HBAR. So I'll take a quick look. I'll handle this one. So HBAR, again, kind of like Ripple losing the monthly VWAP. Similar situation. All these charts are going to look somewhat similar with floating with the risk of the weeklies turning bearish here. But overall, a sideways quarter and a sideways type of month, type of environment. So not getting attached to ideas is the way to go. And on HBAR, I look at these nice oversold waves, guys. Like, if I'm seeing a retracement, is there any kind of like big fib level maybe that we're hitting? Let me see. You know, in terms of fibs, let's see here. Yeah, we're kind of hitting like the 618 on that there, but nothing super convincing on like the fibs here. Personally, it's not enough of like VWAP confluence for me to choose HBAR as the trade that I'll take back up to whatever that chart's previous week to date is. I like to see more confluence, but you know, if you are seeing something I'm not, I just took 2 seconds to look at this. If some strength starts manifesting here, wait for 10-minute Heiken-Ashi, put the long down, and you target up there at like that declining 5 MA. So, I mean, this is how you set up your 3-to-1s, 4-to-1s, is you try to catch this, try to buy this fear, because a lot of people are panicking after the weekend. There's CME gaps filling. In fact, we didn't even look at the CME gap on Bitcoin.
Oh, that's been long handled.
Oh, let me check.
I don't think we printed them. There's no new gap, but we took care of the big scary one already.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So not much of a story with CME gaps this week, apparently.
Well, that takes a load off my mind because I couldn't really long Bitcoin until that was taken care of. So no, that's nice.
It's always something different though. Like this previous week, my reason for not trading was like, gosh, I just want ETH to hit all-time highs. So there's always something like.
Yeah, the week before that, I just had a stomach ache.
Yeah, there's always some excuse, but
we could do FARTCOIN. Speaking of flatulence,
ooh, that's a good idea.
Jeez, fucking FARTCOIN, dude.
Alrighty, so FARTCOIN, is it taking any? Okay, so it's not sweeping anything crazy.
We're holding on to that 90 cents.
But check it out. It just took this support down here. So this is I mean, this is like a major level. Like, see this back structure right here? So we're testing down into that, and it's like it's got some fight in it. If this level gets reclaimed, that would coincide with 10-minute Heiken-Ashi strength building, and you could get a bullish weekly leap off that back up to 5-day downtrend resistance. So I'm being you know, I'm a little hopeful. I haven't seen anything like directly actionable quite yet, but short term there could be like a nice little long here on fart back up to last week's VWAP. Zooming out.
Stink bid long on 86 if we get there while I'm sleeping. Yeah, but if tomorrow morning, if that doesn't play out, I'm out of it. But
Yeah, you know, fart. It's a tricky read. You know, it's a trick because this. Look at this monthly VWAP down sloped. You know, we came up and we kind of front ran the rejection to it. Hard to say whether that is bearish for sellers to be that empowered as to sell this down before it even gets that previous month's VWAP test. And also, I would say that the volatility has gone down a bit on FART. Like, its swings have reduced in size as the year-to-date has kind of flattened out a bit. So you're not missing too much. You're not missing too much on FART. The FART has kind of dissipated a little bit, but you know, these moves are still bigger than most shitcoins. Like, if this thing were to just simply come down to this VWAP 20%, if it goes back up to its weekly VWAP, that's an 11% move. Like, with leverage, you could change your life on that. So
yeah, or ruin your life.
Or ruin your life. So it's still got bite. It's still got bite to it, but
yeah, if we can get back to $1, that would be nice. But if I was in a long right now, I would leave at $1.
I would say, like, the gaps on the weekly VWAPs this week, we've seen better, guys. Like, anyone who's followed my streams over the months and years, like, seeing that the new weekly VWAP, which is like down here, and then last week's VWAP, this is kind of measly. Like, look at this small little, it's only an 8% gap on FARTCOIN, and like on Ethereum, for instance, it's just not that big of a gap. So the trades back up to it aren't going to be that good this week. Like, the bullish leaps are not the best bullish leaps I ever seen. So I'm actually hoping that the bearish momentum just continues and we get a slightly better trade, like maybe down here at the month to date, or like on FARTCOIN, like down at like an actual macro VWAP level that I can believe in, not just some floaty random, some 786 retracement of some random pump, you know. So praying for like a more concrete entry, and you know, maybe tomorrow morning or something. But
yeah, for sure. You don't want to front run this right now. What do we have? HBAR, ONDO, JUNGLEBEAST. Do you want to jump on one of those?
we talked about HBAR
Yeah.
already. You want to cover ONDO?
Yeah, I can do ONDO, I guess. Yes, finance. Let's see, where am I on? 10 minute. Okay, 10 minute. We are seeing a bounce. It looks just the same as everything else. We've lost both our monthly VWAPs here on the 10 minute. We do see that bounce off the zero line to the upside. Pretty deep momentum wave though. Let's go look at the 1 hour. 1 hour is curving to the upside. Where's our support to the downside? Once again, June 5th. What else is down here? Previous year-to-date VWAP. 1 hour red dot. 4 hour red dot, excuse me. What is price at? This is a coin I've never traded. Where 96 cents, 94 cents. 91 cents. Yeah, that's strong. That's a support resistance flip right there at that June 5th low VWAP at 91 cents. If we are going to continue down, I could see us bouncing from there. Daily VWAP, strong rejection off that zero line. A strong hike in a sheet candle to the downside right now. We're fighting to hold this previous day. Weekly does not look that great. Looks like the VWAP is getting ready to come straight down for that zero line. Looks like there's a curve, a potential curve to the downside on the money flow. Right here, we can see it starting to get a little curve to the downside. But this, I do not know much about ONDO. I've heard about it. I haven't done research on it. But if we're not going to hold this previous day, I would look for this next support resistance flip around 91 cents to hold us, maybe even take us back to the previous monthly, maybe even the previous week. But it's not looking that great. And I've lost my market cipher. Oh.
Yeah,
But looking
at,
just at the VWAPs, I would say I'd see a bounce around 91, but I don't see much on Ondo. I don't know a lot about Ondo either. Oh shit, I'm not even on Ondo. I'm on Sol. My bad.
well, thankfully they look the exact same. I got Ondo on the stream here though, and it's actually at a pretty strong VWAP resistance. We're at the previous month's anchored VWAP here. So, you know, this is a territory where this current 10-minute candle is not a momentum candle because we got a bottom wick, but the next one very well could be. So if the next one is a strong reclaim of last month's VWAP, you could actually enter a Ondo long back up to that declining trend resistance. Just you got to be mindful. It's a counter trend kind of move. We're dealing with a larger 5-day downtrend here on Ondo, and there's some risky signs on the macro, like a daily. You know, you got daily hike in Ashi. We're in the VWAP gulag, still chopping around in this highly contentious volume weighted area. We're definitely not Buzz Lightyearing out of the window anytime soon on this thing. So, you know, it's got some short-term trading potential, but it's kind of just in the same boat as a lot of other cryptos right now. Someone in the chat said it's backed by BlackRock.
It also has a blood diamond starting to print on the 4-hour.
Yup. What else are we missing here? Let's take a look at Pepe real quick. Pepe also some gulag resistance going on here. We got weekly red hike and Ashi. Despite ETH doing good recently, Pepe's like just kind of doing all right. Hopefully it finds some support soon, but you're seeing these same kind of worrisome signals. Look at that weekly, a 0 line red dot. So interesting warning signs developing on Pepe. Sui, this is one that like my brother loves to trade. Potential triple top here. Look at one shoulder, head, right shoulder. So this kind of confirms you know, some bearish suspicions going across crypto charts when you see patterns like this. So sometimes one crypto can kind of clue you in of like what others might do. This definitely looks like some triple toppy kind of action here on Sui, not gonna lie. So while Sui's probably gonna have like a nice long from this point back up to 5-day downtrend resistance, you see like, look, we're stopping out a bunch of bulls, and the big time frames are making you want to be bearish on Sui right now. But you got to remember that we got to undo that weekend fear, that weekend price action. At least come up and wreck the bears real quick before this thing continues lower. So I don't think it's the time for these cryptos to just start tugging their monthly and quarterly VWAPs into a sharp downtrend just yet. I think there's like a choppy little long at the start of the week, and then potentially more downside from there. But also, I'm not invested in what happens after this move to the upside, because I wait till next week to trade. So that's my edge, is like I react. I don't really actually try to predict, even though I like to do predictions, because then I get to watch the stream later and see, you know, what was right, what was wrong. And every stream, there's some things that go right and then other little things that go wrong. So it's like, you know, I like to say what I'm thinking, but ultimately, like, it's just these moves back to last week's VWAP that I try to catch. If it looks good enough, I'll take it, you know? But let's see, what other little shit coins? That's kind of, we're done on the shit coins for now.
I could do
but...
Cardano.
Oh, yeah, man, I don't have that on my hot list, but...
yeah, you can just show my screen if you want.
Sure. Let's do it, man. I do like how ADA's bouncing on... ADA's different than any other chart, man. It's like having a weekly leapfrog bounce as we speak. Do you see that, bro?
Yeah,
Okay,
and
this
that's I
this
have it
looks
on
different.
my list. So little shitter Cardano is the little train that could right now. So yeah, you retrace to your previous weekly already, and we're using it as support. That's kind of nice. If you can hold like 89 cents, I'd feel really good about Cardano. The August, this current month that we're in, has been nice and supportive for us. If you come down to touch that line, let me get a little closer. If you can keep this as support, like let's say you fall through this giant trend line that we've just broken through, that's really promising. I like this. But I'm looking closer at the VWAPs. If Cardano can hold its 89 to 90 cents right here, the 618, then I'd be looking for more upside there. And I'm looking at the weekly. Looking decent on the weekly. I mean, this is the opposite of everybody else. So I kind of like that right now. I don't know why Cardano's going up, to be honest, but I'm happy for them if they can keep this going. But just keep a close eye on these VWAPs because it's doing the opposite of everybody else. So you've already touched it. If you get a bounce here, feels good. If you fall through, your next support is like 85, 86 cents. If you lose that, then you're on your own, son. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's got a different thing going on compared to every other chart we looked at. Like, I mean, it's hard to catch a move like this, but look at this beautiful weekly leap. As soon as the new weekly candle spawned earlier tonight, we just moved straight down to that previous week to date. And this is a nice confluence for everything else we're seeing. Like, if ADA is like kind of acting different, maybe it's leading, maybe I don't know, but I like that ADA is hitting some strong support here, and this kind of guarantees that this move here, like if this happens, you usually get this, and so this is a good sign for like all my other trades. Trading this back up to last week's VWAP isn't really like the best trade here, so you'd have to aim higher. So at that point, I'm kind of outside my edge. So like this gap isn't really something that I would tackle personally, because I like to take profit there, because you just never know, man. If this is like maybe ADA's leading in a bad way, and it's just the first one to dump, and everything else is coming next. But
yeah, if you managed to, if you passed that previous week, all right, I'd look out for that undercarriage at about 95 for another rejection point.
Yeah.
Or you just flop and grope in this range for another week, ADA can turtle up sometimes. But it's not like FARTCOIN where it just explodes in the wrong direction.
Yeah. I mean, look at the strength of this 5-day uptrend, guys. We just went over like 12 charts where it's a strong 5-day downtrend, and yet ADA is just different, man. Like, look at this strong uptrend here. So, falling down on some established rising VWAP weekly support that's held 1-2 times before. This could be a little bounce area, and this kind of supports the overall weekly bullish leap idea going into this next week of trading. But I did title the stream Bullish Weekly Leap, Bearish Quarterly, because when you look at a lot of these coins, it's a new quarter. We're in Q3. If things do transgress and get worse and regress to a worse state, it would make a lot of sense to just go back to last quarter's VWAP, which for Bitcoin is like a 10% move down. So it's like I'm open to that stuff, but you can't jump the gun. You got to look at the slope of the current monthly VWAP and like just let the 5-day trend shepherd you to success. And like whatever idea you're in, either the new week comes and there's an odds of like a retracement, like you might get hunted. So every week is kind of just a new opportunity. But that's pretty much it for our stream. So we'll just do some closing statements. Hope you guys enjoyed the analysis from two guys that I really respect, my older brother and one of my OGs in the VWAP Discord. Both of them have their own YouTube channels, so pull up your guys' channels real quick, and I'll let you guys plug yourselves. And what else we got? We got marketcipher.shop if you guys want to grab some cool shirts or some nice high quality hoodies for the winter, go ahead and go to marketcipher.shop. We'll ship you out some of these guys from anywhere in the world. And if you want to use my links, you could sign up to any of the exchanges that I trade on. Breakout, Blowfin, Bybit. You could get the indicators that I use, Leapfrog and Market Cipher, and hit me up on Twitter or Instagram if you do this, because I'll do a consultation with you. So that's my spiel. You guys have your channels up. Let's go to you guys looking at JUNGLEBEAST now. Just give us some closing words, man.
Oh yeah, well thanks for having me. First of all, I appreciate it. I've being here has pretty much been a dream come true. You know what I mean? As a trader who's been doing this for 4 years, strictly underneath you and Face. It's been an amazing journey to be here, and I just hope I can be living proof that this can be anybody, man. Like I've struggled for so long throughout my life, but then I found trading, and you know it's been a journey, but anybody can do this. I know I'm almost out of the rat race because of this, and thank you for that. As you can see on my screen, there's my YouTube channel to anyone who wants to follow. I try to do I wouldn't say daily. I miss 2 or 3 days a week, depending on what time I get off work. I'm a craps dealer at a casino, so I work night shifts, and sometimes I get up at 3 in the morning or 6 in the morning, just depends on the day. But I do pretty good at uploading at least 2 or 3 videos every week. Probably gonna start going live on Mondays for pre-market. And if you want to follow me, it's just at JUNGLEBEAST-OG on YouTube, or just Google VWAP technical analysis, and I should pop up. But thank you again. Thanks for having me. I hope everyone has a great night. God bless everybody. All praise be to Jesus. Thank you.
Beautiful, man. Thank you. And
JUNGLEBEAST, you got a sub out of me. I'm gonna sub to your channel right after this. What a cool story, this guy. He's got another baby on the way. He sounds like an Army E9, but looks like a dungeon master. And his analysis is great. I mean, he's just like Cody. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a lot of good stuff about him. Like he's a bunch of different people in one. What an interesting guy. So I'm going to totally subscribe to his channel, and I'll watch you if you do Monday opens.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'll totally that's motivation for me to get it done. I'll do that. And one day you'll hear the full story and you'll be like, "Damn, man, my life is really a movie." Like I'm writing a great movie, man, writing a legacy, and one day everybody will know the story.
Well, God bless you. You have a life that we're going to be watching later in a movie. This is great.
Thank you, man. God bless y'all, man. Thank you.
And you too, brethren. Do you want to pull up your YouTube real quick? So
sure, I'm in.
All right, let's see that.
Oh, you don't see it on the screen, rats?
No.
Okay, here. Oh. Well, you guys know who I am. I'm FloppingGroper's oldest brother, CryptoGuy OTI. My background is in design and marketing and stand-up comedy. I did trading on the side, and after about 6 or 7 years of doing that on the side, I just made it my main thing. So I love doing this. I never go to sleep, but as long as you're making money, it's worthwhile. So you can show up here. I make a video about once a month on YouTube to set VWAPs and talk shop. But I'm on Instagram every day, and if I see something interesting, I'll post a little 1-minute video. But thanks again for having me.
No problem, man. Man, this was a great idea, getting alternate voices on the channel. So God bless you guys. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. You have to like the stream. We got to get the stream up to over 100 likes. And you guys have a good one. I'll catch you guys next Sunday.